Welcome to our February of 2024 copywriting clinic, first one of 2024. I'm excited to be back, obviously from maternity leave. So I do have my little guy with me today since my partner is at work. He should be pretty good in the harness today. He's been really good this week. So Copywriting Clinic is a really casual meetup. It's an opportunity to get feedback, real-time feedback on your work that you're working on. And it's also an opportunity to ask questions about copywriting and learn from some of us that have been doing this for a while. I've been a little out of the game the last few months. So, I'm getting my brain back into things. But just from those that are here, I'd love to take a little temperature check of the room. And did anyone who's currently in attendance bring something for us to look at today? Nothing so far. Okay. Well, there's also possibilities more people will trickle in. Are there any questions about copywriting that are bubbling up out there?
Hi, Kara.
Hi, Holly.
My level or knowledge of copywriting is this much, like absolutely zero. So that's why I'm here. I want to learn how to do copywriting. And I still have to even put up a web page. I was looking at, say, a couple different ones like Weebly. They make you use Square. And I don't want to use Square as my source of income. I want to use cryptocurrency and things like that. So I've yet to find a free website that I can start as a landing page. But then as I'm building my landing page, I do need to learn how to do copywriting to let people know, hey, look what I have for you, right? So my knowledge of all of this kind of stuff, from building websites to copywriting, is zero. So any
A question for you, Holly.
wherever you want to start is great.
Agnieszka, are you there?
Do you know anybody who's an expert? Yeah, it's not coming through. Oh.
Yeah, I think you were listening.
Is it coming through now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Do you know anybody?
Aw.
You stalled again.
In WordPress, because apparently I have this host.
I can't hear her at all. I'm sure she has great advice.
Sounds like she was asking about WordPress.
Right. They're fixing the
Turn your
internet
camera off,
here.
Agnieszka.
What's that, Jerry?
Try turning your camera off, Agnieszka.
Yeah, they're fixing the internet here.
There we go.
So we didn't hear a single word you said. Sorry.
I said, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So I said that I have some kind of a weird hosting that allows me a whole bunch of websites for the same price as one, but I don't have anybody, or I just fired my tech. So I don't know anybody who could help me like set up the WordPress or connect it with a new site or whatever. But if you could figure that out, I'm sure we could like find a collaboration, because apparently I'm already paying for 100 websites. So
Okay. And who is that with?
Hostinger.
What was that?
Hostinger.
And so kind of to reflect, Holly, there was a couple different questions in there and things that you're coming up against. The one is just limited or zero knowledge about copywriting, which is something you're going to want to employ soon. And second, platforms for being able to start up a website, ideally for free, and that can accept cryptocurrency. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that's what I'm looking for, because well, if I want to set up all my Square and all that kind of stuff, I want to give people options to, of course, step out of the matrix and do what we need to do, right? And so for my online coaching and all these other offers that I'm going to have, I would like to have the different options of payment. Whereas, say, with Weebly, I started working with it and realized they only want you to use one form of payment. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I haven't done any research to who else I could use. And then once I build a page, which of course I don't know anything about either, then I can start working on my copywriting as well.
Sure. So definitely, yeah, because I think a lot of those free programs like Weebly and what are some other ones like Squarespace and stuff, like while they are free to some of them free or at very, very low cost to start out, definitely limitations there. And there's a lot of other limitations beyond just the kinds of payments that they accept. My limited understanding of all the mechanical stuff is that the best option would be a WordPress website where you would get some kind of a plugin that would then enable you to, you know, or connect you to be able to accept cryptocurrency payments. That would be my understanding. A lot of times for myself, I've had other tech guys that take care of a lot of that stuff on the back end for me. So my knowledge is a little bit limited on that front. So if I'm understanding Agnieszka correctly, what she's saying, she's already paying for basically a package that includes a whole bunch of websites. So there could be an opportunity for collaboration there where you might be able to build on one of her websites that's included in her package, if I was hearing that correctly.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that would work, but I would love to do a collaboration because then, of course, I'm going to always include links to Own Your Body Language, which is her thing. And then she can pull it, you know, we can do that vice versa and have that a flowing thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so then there's, and so this is where, again, like something like Weebly, which offers, whether I can't remember if it is free or just really low cost, where they then also provide hosting. Part of what that also kind of means is that they end up in some ways almost owning your content, where then later on, if you want to create or expand on a different platform like WordPress, oftentimes you're having to like start over from scratch. There's weird things there with some of those seemingly free platforms. So
yeah, I noticed that on Google Word there, because I was writing a bit and I didn't have Word at the time, and I was and then they owned all the material that I was writing, and I'm like, no, this isn't. I want to publish my own book. I don't want them to own what my writing.
yeah.
So I quickly bought Word.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this might be an instance where you think about what you can invest in something to get your own website. Then there's things like paying for hosting. I know through AUTONOMY, they're kind of, because I have my own website hosted through them. I'm just drawing a mommy blank at the moment, but there's a hosting company within our community that you would just pay once a year. I know it's less than $100 a year that I pay to host my own website. You would need to pay for your domain name, which is usually, depending on what you get, can actually be quite inexpensive for something like that. And then it's just kind of, you know, I know with WordPress you can find different things like something called, for example, Divi themes, D-I-V-I, Divi themes, which is something that I use for my website that is a really wonderful builder that rather than thinking about all this code and all this crazy stuff that I sure don't understand, something like a Divi builder kind of creates these really nice templates that you can build off of. And for someone like myself, I'm not a website designer. It was something that I was able to kind of plug in all of my own stuff. And then I ended up hiring a really nice web designer for an hour or two of his time to just polish everything for me. So it made it really inexpensive. I'm definitely someone who's trying to like
know your design. But I also, my website's better, or my internet's better now.
Okay.
They're fixing it. It's at 20 now. It's normally at 60, went down to 3. That's why we couldn't talk. Like speak.
I just wanted to pop in there. I just got Divi last night. It was like $80 for the year. That's pretty dang cheap. And from what I've been working with it, it's pretty darn good. So I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really like Divi. I built my whole website on Divi, and even the new table plugin is free. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, the paid version. It's a little bit easier to use, but it's not worth $50 a month. So, but it looks really nice and everything looks really good. So I kind of want to show you guys my website. That's how proud of it I am.
Because I know, especially like coming in green and trying to create a website, and you're thinking about design and how to build and all this stuff, and it can be a lot. So something like Divi is a really wonderful tool. They've got a really nice visual builder that's just kind of like a drop things in, and it takes a little bit of, you know, figuring it out, but it's very easy to work with, especially in comparison to a lot of other things.
What I
Here's
really
here's
like-
the really big thing about Divi. Because I had a website that I started with Joshua on that 14-day challenge, and it never really got anywhere. And that's because I didn't have any support from WordPress, because there's no support with WordPress. Divi, I was on their chat with support, you know, until I got it finally in, like last night. They were just there. They were really nice. So that is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Thank
I was
you,
gonna
Ruth.
say that what I really like about Divi is that you can save the row, the section, or the element to the library, and then just pull and import them into other pages, which makes it super simple to mix and match. It's like Lego, right? So
Yeah, no, that I love programs like Excel and stuff. Like I am great at, you give me information and I can plug it and sort it, and like I did with all the testimonials. And I don't know, like I just did what I thought I did. It took it so far, and if there's more that needs to be done, nobody said anything. But that kind of stuff I love to do. It's just figuring out the pathways to use, and then once I get it and plug in the information, I'm great. But I don't know how to get from there to there.
Absolutely. And as you go and find yourself stumped, definitely post in the forum. There's a lot of really talented and knowledgeable web designers, or, you know, even aspiring web designers that will have answers in the forum that can help.
Okay, write that down as a reminder to use the Ask Community
Yes.
button.
And so that's on the building side. Then on the copywriting side, so, you know, at its simplest form, copywriting is essentially all of that text that's on all of the websites, all the emails, all the advertisements, everything that's used to communicate to our audiences. And so with a website, it's kind of like your online business card, where this is your opportunity to communicate, you know, what solutions that you're bringing to them, and who are you speaking to, what language are they, what's going on in their minds at night that's keeping them up at night, that then you can speak to on your website. So thinking about what are those problems that you're hoping to solve, and how can you best communicate that to people. I'm curious where we should go from here. More questions? We can keep talking. I'd love feedback.
Well, one thing I was just thinking when you were saying that was, I know that you just said you did a whole lot of market research. Can you kind of go over that? I know Joshua did that in that course too, but I don't really remember exactly how to do it, and it might help Holly somewhat.
Absolutely. And there's different ways of doing market research. And so it's interesting because what Joshua helped do for me, and I know that he's been really gung-ho over the last year, is all of the new AI technology. So he's been using ChatGPT, using prompts to, you know, learn about a specific market. And he was able to do some of that for me this past fall. What the kind of research that I've been doing for years is a little bit more manual, where at its essence, what I'm doing is going into finding all the places online that my target market is talking about my, like, for example, for me, it's for coaching. So I'm a life coach. So I'm trying to build my business. So going into discussion forums, comment threads, anywhere that people are talking about what kind of problems that they're facing. Like, I help a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. I help busy moms. And so finding where are those people at online and talking, and just so that I can observe what are their pain points? What are the challenges that they're all coming up against? And how are they talking about that? What do they want in life? What are they aspiring to? And then you can take all of that information and start to catalog it. And what I'm doing when I'm doing market research is I'm literally copying and pasting exactly what I'm reading verbatim. So I'm not trying to paraphrase things when I'm cataloging. I'm literally copy and pasting the exact verbiage that people are using so that I can use that to speak back to them in their own language. That's really key. Thinking about, again, it's like, what is that, you know, that busy mom, which I've turned into myself, you know, what's keeping me up at night, or, you know, other moms up at night, and it's thinking about, oh my gosh, all this stuff that I need to get done. Thinking about, you know, all the things that I'm overwhelmed with that I want to accomplish, and how am I going to get all that done? Aspiring entrepreneurs, how am I going to get my business running off the ground? I need to make money. I need to be able to feed myself. There's different things that are going on in people's head, and that's the stuff that you want to speak to in your marketing. So you find that by literally just going and scouring the internet. I use things like Reddit threads, Quora, for, you know, finding discussion threads on topics. I'm going to relevant YouTube videos, and I'm reading the comments of people and digging through and scanning through and finding, okay, what is there's someone talking about, you know, what their biggest pain point is and what problems that they're experiencing, what challenges and barriers they're coming across. And going into even social media threads and posts, and going into groups that, you know, that my target market is at, and just learning, just observing and learning what they're experiencing. You know, there's research you can do on things like basic demographics, like, you know, all right, there's all the marital status and income and, you know, age groups and stuff. But you know what? My opinion and what I've learned is that you can have people from completely different ends of the spectrum, different age groups, different status and income and all this stuff. But if they're experiencing the same problem, that's the connector. It doesn't matter. All that demographic stuff doesn't matter if you can reach them on the heart level and find out what are they experiencing that you can help with and you can talk to them about. So I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent. So I'd love to hear any feedback, thoughts, questions coming up for you guys out there.
I guess my question, because I remember that I couldn't find, I don't know where to find these discussion groups. I mean, I'm just not in any of them myself, and I don't know where to find them. So
Yeah, so I mean, let's play around with this a little bit. So let's talk about a topic of some kind. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's do this together. So I just went ahead and got to reddit.com. So let's talk what would be an industry or a topic. So like entrepreneur challenges, just as a total example. But what are the biggest challenges you face as an entrepreneur? So I could go in here, you know, if I'm looking for my target market of, again, aspiring entrepreneurs, you know, growing entrepreneurs and what they're facing, so that I can figure out as a coach, the language that I can best use. Like I have my own knowledge from working with people on what they're facing, but to be able to go into something like this and read directly from them, from entrepreneurs, what they're experiencing. All right, nobody speaks about the behind the scenes, not knowing if you're going to make it, but still putting in the hours, learning to deal with failure and embracing it. Like this is great language that you know I could speak to in my own marketing and my website. The emotional strain it can really take on you when you start experiencing success. It all starts to make sense. And so thinking about these are things that I would take, that I would copy, you know, copy all this, and I would log them into a spreadsheet. So actually, let me go back to one of my other, I will share this with you guys, get that up in a moment, but I will go into a spreadsheet like this. So this is a spreadsheet that I modeled after, his name's Sabri Subi. He's a really successful marketer in Australia, and he wrote this great book called Sell Like Crazy, which is actually a book you can get free. I think you just pay for shipping, but you can get it online for free. I think it's like selllikecrazy.co or something like that. I have to look it up, but here is where I would catalog what I'm finding. So I would be coming in here and talk, all right, nobody speaks about the behind the scenes, not knowing if you're going to make it. And I would copy this and I would log it in here. So in here, look on the left-hand side, we've got hopes and dreams, pains and fears, barriers and uncertainties, any unexpected insights that come up. And if you, depending on the industry that you're researching, a spot for industry jargon. And so I would come in here and I would just paste that in. Reformat this too. Really quick. And then I have this cataloged in here, and I will spend hours. You know, especially when I'm not working as a professional copywriter anymore, but when I was, this is what the first thing that I would do for every client that I started working for, was spending hours researching what people are talking about for their target market and what they're after. So I'm just going through again and reading. All right, lack of stability. One day you're a star, another day you think you will die without a penny. That's great language that I could use. I would take that and log it into my pains and fears section. You know, emotional understanding. All right, when you start to make success, it starts to make sense. This I'd put up in the more positive section, into hopes and dreams. Now there's you know, for this particular spreadsheet, you know, we have up here basically like different audiences. So newbie, intermediate, advanced. This is kind of placeholders where depending on the client that I'm working with, I would have different audience categories. So for me right now, what I would do is I would change newbie to entrepreneur. And then I would have another column for like busy moms, because those are my two big audiences that I work with. And then I might think of something else as I'm doing research if I want to catalog something in there. But this is what I do, is I'm going in and trying to find, where are people talking? I might go on to YouTube and find videos about entrepreneurism or inspiring videos, like some of the ones we've seen in AUTONOMY. And I'd go to those videos and I'd read the comment section. And just the same as I'm doing right now, just reading and learning, and then cataloging really good language. So there's two big things that I'm looking for when I'm doing audience research. I'm looking for patterns, things that come up over and over and over again, because those are things those are the common problems that you want to make sure that I want to make sure that I'm communicating in my marketing. The second thing I'm looking for is interesting ways of saying things. You know, the internet and marketing is a very competitive space. There's a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of stuff going on. So the more that I can find the unique way of communicating things that are going to resonate with people, the better. So this is why I love some of this language that people are using. All right, one day you're a star, another day you think that you'll die without a penny. That's interesting language. I would want to save that. Oh, I'm in the penny phase right now. Finding and keeping highly technical people around. There's another problem. Tend to leave after, okay, you know. So always finding new clients. I've been at this 20+ years now, and it's much harder now to find clients because the market is so saturated. That's a big problem. So again, I would copy and paste that and put it over into my spreadsheet. This is a template, so I'm going to end up deleting what I put in there. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time right now copy and pasting. But again, I'm looking for patterns, and I'm looking for interesting ways of saying things. Another really great resource to get started and thinking about, okay, what are people asking about a certain topic? And that's this really, really great website called Answer the Public. Answerthepublic.com. And in here, let's see, I think I should have an account. The free account gets you 3 searches a day. You can upgrade to Pro and get like unlimited searching. I can't remember if I actually had signed up or not, but so you'd enter into a topic. So for me, just going on the thing, I'm going to go with life coaching, or maybe I would search for accountability, something like that, so that I could, you know, just see. But what this is going to tell you is this is going to give data on what people are asking about in search engines. So if I go down into here, it shows the cool wheel, which let's see, you can also turn it into a list mode. I haven't been on this site in a while, but this is telling me all of the questions that people are asking about the search term that I put in. So our life coach is legit. Our life coach is worth it. life coach is covered by insurance. These are questions that people are asking. So I can go in here and think like, okay, what are those common questions that are getting a lot of searches that then I could make sure that I acknowledge in my marketing? Or maybe these are questions that I need to go and ask the internet myself, do my own research to find out, some of these turn into discussion forums. Oh, baby, you're okay. Some of these turn into discussions on threads like Reddit or Quora that then, you can go in and find and research what are people talking about with this. So I've gone over a couple of resources, places that you can go to find where your target market is talking. Again, Reddit's just one. Reddit's one of my first go-tos just because there's so many people on there talking about different things. But again, you finding comment threads for relevant YouTube videos is really good. You can find different like Facebook groups online. A lot of people are still doing stuff like that. You can find, other things on social media. There's different ways. Some industries will have specialized discussion forums. I was doing research for an educational, like a home education, homeschooling service. And I was looking into a whole bunch of different homeschooling forums and reading all of their discussions from all of these homeschooling parents so that I could learn about what their biggest challenges are and what they're coming up against. So just finding, sometimes it can take a little bit of work, but finding where is your target market talking on the internet and go there and learn. And then just have a place where you can go ahead and catalog your findings. And then Answer the Public is a really wonderful resource for finding out what are those questions and things that people are asking about your search term on the internet. I'm going to provide you guys, so this is something I made quite a while ago. So it's a little possible something might be a tiny bit outdated. But this is a resource sheet that I put together quite a few seasons ago, I think. And this has a few things. So it has a link to a copywriting course that I created, which I created in 2021. It's discounted for autonomy students. The basic price, I think it's like $99, $97. It's made for beginners. There might be a couple of small things with all the AI stuff that might be just a little bit outdated. I might need to do some updating on that soon, but you get lifetime access. That's available on here. I'm going to link this in our chat in just a moment. Also links to the best copywriting clinics that we've done so far. So in the beginning, when Agnieszka and I started doing this, we were doing a lot more lessons, where then it kind of evolved into what we're doing now, which is just more bring what you're working on so that we can, help make it better and just flowing with the needs of the group, the people who show up. But these are links to a lot of the lessons that we did. And this is a great free way, if you're not really wanting to pay for the course right now, is to go through all of these free clinic videos that we put together. These are available on YouTube. I gotta check some of the other links. I wonder where some of these other links go to. Those might be broken. I need to check this again. But all the YouTube ones are definitely relevant. And then we also have, I've got copywriting clinic handouts where you can come in here and you can make your own copy of this spreadsheet, and you can keep this for yourself to use and reuse for your own purposes. And then some other tools for copywriting. Hemingway app is amazing. This is a website that determines readability. So one thing, as you're writing your copy, for all you guys that are thinking about, creating your own stuff, is remembering to write things that are easy for people to read. When I would be reviewing, whether it was my own copy or someone on my team, I kind of have a rule that if I have to read a sentence more than once to understand what's being communicated, it needs to be rewritten. Going for clear language, clarity over cleverness. That's one of my little mantras, clarity over cleverness every time when you're writing your copy. You can achieve both, awesome. But making sure that everything is really clearly communicated for your audience. If something gets too complicated, people are going to totally go blind and they're probably going to hop out. I've got some links to again, these are a little bit older, like this is 2015, but Copy Hackers is a really amazing, they're really great for training copywriters. So I had some links to some of their resources. Again, some of these might be a little bit old. But audience research, what we were just talking about, the spreadsheets and resources that are available for your pleasure. Link to Answer the Public, and then a couple of articles in here that again I need to update this sheet with some more updated stuff. But I'm gonna link this into, yeah, some of this stuff is old. I'll update this one of these days. I'll put that on my list. Let me go ahead and put it into our chat, and then you guys can take this and you can go ahead and download it. You can bookmark it. So I spent a lot of time talking just now. I'm gonna take a drink of water, and I'd love any questions, thoughts, feedback, comments. What's going on out there? Stop sharing for a moment.
No, this is really, really useful. Thank you so much, Kara. I am just writing and keeping notes. That's why I turned off my camera. Nobody needs to see the top of my head. Yeah, and this is just a lot. I have many hours, more hours of research to do, and it's a good start. And I'll report back in next week and let you know how far I got.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and right now, well, and maybe this will change. Actually, my schedule is kind of opening up a little bit. We typically do the copywriting clinic once a month. I'm almost wondering, Agnieszka, about picking it up, maybe doing twice a month, if our schedule could handle it.
You could do it.
I'm a lot more open with, as long as you guys don't mind my baby with me. I'm a lot more open with my morning schedules right now. I'm on the West Coast, so maybe we start
So
doing.
like after Acapulco, we do have one more conferences at the beginning of April, but like I could just skip one, you know. Other than that, I can totally do twice a month, because after April 9th, I'm totally like
Awesome.
available. Well, no, then I'm teaching, but I still will be available.
Okay. Well, I will after this, today or maybe tomorrow, soon, I will get I'll put this the next handful up in the forum events so that people can get it on their calendars, and we'll do every other week for at least the next couple months. Oh, baby, you're just fine. Hi, Ashley. Glad you could make it.
I was thinking we can practice one like as a group.
Yeah.
So, and this is not necessarily something we have to do, but I'm writing emails for one in Acapulco. What happens is they say, hey, write an email about the launch party, and we go to the website. So I'll no. Okay.
I can't tell if you're cutting it out or if you're doing other stuff.
I think she's putting it in and out.
Okay.
Well, hi, Kara. Meanwhile, I can jump in.
Sure.
How are you? Congratulations. Good to see you with your baby.
Thank you.
And thank you and Agnieszka for putting this on. This is my first time attending the copywriting clinic, and a lot of great useful information so far. My question, I guess, would be on like I'm currently working on a mini course, and it's like a topic that's not very common. And like an example of that would be like Agnieszka's face reading course. Like there's, it's I guess my question would be like, is it would you approach that differently if it was more of a less common topic? Like would
Well,
there be any changes, I guess, if I'm trying to
let's play with that a little bit. So with, for example, what you're offering, what are the problems you're helping to solve?
So it deals with practical health and putting kind of responsibility back on the people by them create, like, creating a device, and it has to do with light and buying the filters and like that kind of journey. So it deals with light, and it's solving a practical application that anyone can kind of do. I guess
Okay.
that would be the
Who's your target market?
my target market is people who are dealing with health issues. I guess, like,
And probably probably people that
maybe
are
that's vague. Is that too vague?
with like alternative health.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you want to start, is start thinking about who is your ideal client, and thinking, what are their big interests. So something like being into like alternative health, maybe having issues with, westernized medicine, different things like this, where that's a
I
starting
see.
place.
I see. I
Mhm.
like that.
And so that's where you can start to go in and like into, again, like certain discussion forums, and you're just thinking, you might do some playing around with what search terms you're searching for. And this is where it can be, it can get a little bit, I don't want to say complicated, but a little bit more tricky, where it just takes a little bit more creativity of thinking about what search terms to put in. So maybe you start with something like holistic health or alternative health, and start just reading what people are saying about these things. And because ultimately, you do know your audience, just the same as like, I know my audience, but I don't know everything that they're saying. I don't know every single problem that they're dealing with. And so, enough to get started. We're thinking about what are some of those search terms that you would start with, and then just learning from there. And you might try one out, and then you're reading, you're like, this doesn't really resonate with my experience. So then you try something else.
Awesome. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. And my other question would be, you know how you
Hang
showed us.
on. I have comments. I have commentary. I'm
Okay.
still here.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
my internet's going slow and fast and slow and fast. Anyway, it is much easier to sell to somebody who already wants your product than to try to convince somebody who doesn't know of your product's existence, or maybe doesn't believe in that product's efficacy or whatever. Like, go find your people and sell to your people. Don't try to climb a mountain in a village where they're trying to kill you.
I see.
It's like that saying that, if you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. Like, you really want to target in your message to exactly who that ideal person is. And don't worry about it not resonating with the others, because those aren't your target people. Those aren't the people that are going to buy from you anyway.
Right. And my second question, you showed us the theme, with the newbie, intermediate, advanced, and it had like the hopes and dreams and pains and fears. So I wanted to ask, like, like, how much of each section do you incorporate into, like, say your landing page or your website? Like, is there like a rule of thumb, like, do a little bit of each, or more of this, less of that? Or just
What's great? So if you have different audiences, and I'm just going to use myself as the example, where I know I have a couple of clear different audiences of, like, entrepreneurs and like busy moms. What's ideal is when, after I'm done, if I can look and see patterns in both, that's the ideal, is when you can find the commonalities that, these two different audiences are experiencing some of those same problems that you can communicate. Otherwise, you might have a paragraph speaking to one, and then a paragraph speaking to another. So there's different ways that you can do that. So as far as a specific rule of thumb, not really. As much as you can incorporate their language into your copy, the better. And then what's great about having a spreadsheet like that, it's kind of like this awesome stockpile of language, where then beyond your website, when you start writing marketing emails to these people, or maybe you start doing advertisements or social media posts, you can pull from that for various different applications, or if you have different landing pages. So you're not necessarily, you're going to have your spreadsheet and then you're just going to use it all in one swoop. No, it's something you can reference, you can build on, you can, use for a whole bunch of different applications throughout your marketing journey.
Awesome, thank you. And I guess last question. I'm sorry, these are just coming to me as you're talking.
Yeah.
And my last thing is, as I'm going through this journey, like I'm finding more and more like, okay, I need to learn this, I need to learn that. Like there's all these things that I didn't know about that I'm now learning about, like copywriting, for example. Another one being editing. It's like how, I guess this is more of a personal aside here, but like, how can you talk to us about like your journey and maybe Agnieszka, like you guys' journey? Like, how did you guys overcome that? Because sometimes it's like you see that what you need to do, but it like once you start getting like I need to do this, it's like you realize how limited you are. And anyway, so how did you like? Was that like a challenge for you, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, and and really quick, because it's holding in my mind and I don't want to lose it. Before I answer that question, there's one other thing I wanted to throw out to everyone on the topic of audience research before I forget. So we talked about where to find it on the internet. Another amazing way to get the information that you need from your target market is surveys. Surveying people or having conversations with people that you've met that would be interested in your product, and being able to ask them what are their biggest challenges, because that's getting information like guaranteed from your target market. So I just wanted to point that out. It's something that I think gets overlooked sometimes, is like the value of surveys. So just wanted to, it was nagging at me, so I wanted to put that out there. So my journey, and I started doing freelance copywriting in 2017, just to try and get some extra money. At that time, I was still waitressing, and I was wanting to prepare to start a family and wanted to be able to work from home. So that's kind of where my journey began, was starting to do a little bit of freelance work. So yeah, there is a lot involved. And if I go back to the very beginning, when I was first writing copy, I could cringe at the work that I was doing. And back then I wasn't doing a whole lot of research. I wasn't doing a lot of the practices that I employ today in my work, and was just kind of winging it, and it wasn't very effective. But you start somewhere and you just keep learning and growing. I'm wondering if Agnieszka's got stuff to say too, but with just my own journey, starting to freelance, and then you just kind of start to, it's like with anything, you start something, as long as you have that perseverance to keep moving forward, then, and that resilience where new things start to pop up that you didn't know, and like, oh, okay, either maybe I didn't do that right, or I didn't know about that. Well, now I do. So now it's time to make some changes. Again, it's like the work that I did for clients early on. For one, I was doing it for a lot less money. There were times when I was working on teams where there was other people that were doing other parts of, whether it was the website building or, like actually building the emails in programs, or even doing these various things where I'm just writing in a Word document and sending them the information. And then I started to learn more as I continued on. So it's really just learning and growing, which is, all the stuff that we're learning in AUTONOMY is just how to fail forward. And I've had plenty of my own stumbling blocks and failures and frustrated moments. And it's just persevering through, figuring out what I don't know. Like right now, it's like you might not know what you don't know. So you just keep moving forward, seeing what comes up. And, if you don't have the answers or you can't find it ready, ask the people that might. And this is what I love about AUTONOMY is we have this amazing community of people with so many, like a whole wide, vast sea of knowledge that, when I run up against something that I don't know the answer to, I can make a post on there and ask somebody else and learn from them.
I think that the biggest hurdle in the whole journey from student to freelancer is breaking through the programming that tells you to do what people tell you to do. Like the worst thing for me, the most difficult thing for me was that I was expecting my clients to tell me what I needed to do for them. And that energy in and of itself kept me in the realm of employee, not self-employed, because I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. I had this energy of like, yes, sir, please tell me, give me more, sir, please give me more. And now I'm more likely to take charge and say, okay, look, here's the evidence, but I am also confident and experienced enough to be able to not only know to look for the evidence, but to be able to find the evidence, illustrate and explain what it means, and then be able to get a better contract from it. But at the beginning, after season 1, I got this contract for $10,000 and I totally fucked it up. And I ended up like not making, like they fired me before I like at like 6,000. They paid me 6,000, but magically it was exactly the money I needed at the time, and the rest of it I didn't need, so it was okay. But I didn't live up to expectations because they were expecting somebody more professional, and even though I was professional, like now I could probably pull it off much better. But that was, 2019.
Awesome. Thank you both.
Yeah, and for Agnieszka and I have done a lot of this work for other clients and for other people, and a lot of you are going to be working on doing this for yourselves, and it's still the same. Right now you might create your websites and get your copy up, and you're going to learn so much about your business, about yourself. And I got it to this place where a year and a half ago I was really happy with exactly what I came up with. Now I've learned so much more. Again, I learned so much more about myself, about my service, about the people that I serve, that now I'm like, oh my God, it's time to completely redo this, because I know how to speak to them better. I know like the language, I know the things that they need to hear now. And I realize, oh man, a lot of my website language is actually really vague. I need to get more specific in there. And so this just all came with just what I've learned about what I do over this last year and a half, 2 years. So the same with you guys. You're going to start, and this is where I definitely, encourage you guys to let go of perfectionism. Get your first websites, get these things to a place where, all right, you're happy with it right now, and know that you're going to come back to it in a year. You're going to come back to it in 6 months or a year, and you're going to, after you've learned a whole lot, and you're going to see all the things that you want to improve. I mean, all of the best. It's kind of like all of the, the podcasts that we love, right? If you go back to their first episodes, a lot of them are crappy, maybe not structured too well, maybe, really low production, all these things, but then they learn, they grow, they get better and improve. Same thing with your websites and with your marketing. You're going to learn so much, and you're just going to keep growing and improving. Just keep going forward.
Just don't allow the programming to keep you down. My most important message for the day. Maybe because I had something else to say, but it like left my mind. So now.
Hey guys, I really enjoyed this conversation, and I had kind of a question that hopefully maybe transitions well. I don't have any, I don't have a specific idea of my own that I want to copyright, and you and Agnieszka bringing up how you got started working for other people. I was wondering if just there were any tips, because I want to develop the skill, because I know I have ideas, but they're just not quite refined for my own personal work. But I still want to, develop the skill of copywriting, and I'd like to do that through the medium of freelancing. But I just, it's kind of it's overwhelming to think about where to start or how. I just need like some footing.
So you're surrounded by people who need copywriting everywhere around you, in every direction.
Right.
There's someone who's building a website, right? Find the person you need the most, you resonate with the most, like your favorite autonomy buddy. Ask them what they're working on, and see if you can maybe try to do some copywriting for their project, and then bring it to the copywriting clinic for review, and see where we'll tell you where you screwed up, where you did it right. Right. And if you have this one person, like say you find 5 people to do copywriting for, and just do like one website page or a couple emails for each person, after you listen to our copywriting course that's on YouTube, of course, because a lot of mistakes will be avoided if you just like listen to those few episodes. But then whatever you produce, you can bring it here, and then that'll give you a portfolio. If you help 3 different autonomy people, then you'll have 3 different business emails and writing bits, writing samples, that's what it's called.
Right.
And then you can show it to other people and say, hi, and then that at that point you can put a price on it. you can go up to Ruth and say, hey, Ruth, you're so good at video editing, but like, how's your copywriting? That is it shit? Because for $20 an hour, I'll help you out. And so at the
Right.
beginning, maybe you don't take very much money because it's your friends and you're still practicing. But as you get the experience and do it more and more, then you raise your prices and eventually you'll get the big bucks like Kara and I.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Actually,
I
we both pretty much quit copywriting at this point, but no, so
Well, and
uh,
for getting
oh, sorry,
started
go
with
ahead.
training, you know, again, I put in the link some of those resources. So if you're on a budget, again, go through those early copywriting clinic videos, and a lot of the, you know, lessons are in there. If you're
Right.
one thing that, you know, with my copywriting course, which is again, like the base amount is $97, and then it's a couple $100 more for a higher tier where you get personalized feedback on all the exercises that you turn in. But that I created that course. I basically made nice, condensed, polished videos of the stuff that we've talked about in copywriting clinics. So it's just kind of your preference. If some people want to pay a little bit of money to have a more condensed, straight to the point lesson, whereas other people on a budget, like, go through those copywriting clinic videos, and you'll get a lot of the same information that you know is in the course. And then is, you know, that's getting a foundational beginner knowledge of just, you know, the mechanics of copywriting, how to do it, like what all the things mean. And then if you want to expand your training, there's some really amazing, amazing courses and stuff out there that teach a little bit more advanced stuff that, you know, I'd be happy to recommend. So, I mean, there's, what am I thinking of? My brain is totally drawing a blank. Jill. Jill was one who, she took my copywriting course, and then that gave her the footing she needed. And then she went off and she found all these awesome, amazing courses, invested in her education. And now she's doing like really, you know, decent high level copywriting for clients out there. She's getting her own clients. She's got her own business, doing all this freelancing while also being a homeschooling mom. You know, so she's someone that came out of AUTONOMY that started her copywriting career. So it's just getting started, and then thinking about, again, like, what can you invest in your training, because it is an investment, it's not an expense. It is absolutely going to come back to you tenfold. So, you know, it's starting to build your skills, and then, like Agnieszka was saying, being able to have some samples that you can give people. And so AUTONOMY is a great place to be able to find some of your first clients. There's different freelance websites. I know, like, Agnieszka's on Upwork. I believe there's Upwork, there's Freelancer, there's these other you know, sites online. They can be really competitive, but they can also be a really great place for if you're willing to do some work for a small amount, you can get the experience and
I
real.
haven't had any luck with Upwork for the last year. Not that I've tried, but it's just like, it used to be this river of interview requests, like where I would get 5 or 10 a week.
Mhm.
They changed something in the algorithm and suddenly I get 0 requests, and the ones I get are just from some spammers. I decline. But I mean, I have a bunch of other jobs right now. I'm not suffering for jobs. And if I were to want to get a job, I would prefer to go to AUTONOMY clients, to an Acapulco clients, and find a job that way than to go through. The other way you can get a job is through LinkedIn. If you consistently put out articles about copywriting, marketing, whatever, for like, say, 3 months, you'll get clients from LinkedIn. People will start following you and start asking you to work with you. Be smart.
And there's companies
the
that'll
articles.
pay for blog posts for you to, you know, research and write blog posts for them, or articles, you know, like a certain amount a month or a week that, you know, you can get hired on to do. So there's different things. Agnieszka, I'm curious, as kind of a side note, do you think that some of that has to do with all the like ChatGPT and AI stuff that's come out over the last year, like that's making a lot of people do their own copywriting?
Just, I don't even know, because like, my specialty is deliverability reports, and I used to get a lot of people going, oh my gosh, I'm not getting emails. So that kind of stuff wouldn't be solved by ChatGPT, but I just think there's something in the algorithm, like maybe
Mhm.
where you show up, they have paid. I was 100% top rated, but because I haven't had any hours for the last year, I'm no longer top rated, you know.
Mm. Anyway, Quinn, we've talked a lot.
The
No, that's all
Sorry.
great. I appreciate all of it. I'm gonna go back and definitely start with listening to the earlier copywriting and look up your course. And yeah, there's just a wealth of knowledge. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I gotta hop off and go take care of my kid, but I really appreciate this, and I hope to be coming back here frequently. So
Awesome. Thanks, Quinn.
appreciate it.
Good.
Bye,
Thanks,
Quinn.
Gwen. By the way, I just have to mention that icon called
No, you cut out again. Say that again.
really pretty. It's a nice little water, really pretty.
Are we talking about
Yeah.
Holly's picture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
watercolor, pretty.
Mm-hmm.
The boys are
Thank
fixing
you.
the
Thank
internet.
you, Agnieszka. It's hard to hear you because you're cutting out lots, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's as long as I can still write.
Yeah.
So the exercise, can you hear me now again or what?
I can.
So the exercise, I was thinking that somebody might need to help me who has internet that is more stable, is go to the under Acapulco page, pick whatever ticket, like under the tickets, there's like all these different parties or whatever. Pick one of the items and then see if we can all write an email about it, like advertising it, selling it to the crowd or whatever. This is just like a real life example what I've been doing. Right, but we can pick any kind of item there.
It's a little bit hard for me to type with him strapped to me, but
You just got to get more practice. After a year, you'll be a pro at it. Curve.
and so you're suggesting we take something off of, like, write an email.
Tickets is a
You want me to help you, Kara?
Maybe.
Type in share
Just-
screen.
If you want.
I'm here if you need help.
Well, I'm just thinking getting set up. I've got the Anarchapulco website up, but then we probably need a document to type on. And I haven't been doing much copywriting for a while, so I'll definitely be, we'll be doing this together. Okay, let me. Okay, Agnieszka, so guide me to what you're thinking about.
I think you said the tickets. Select one of those tickets. Write an email about it. Promoting it.
Okay. Oh, she must have hopped out. I bet she's probably resetting her internet. Okay. Okay, so I'm just kind of taking a look at what's all included here. Okay.
I came back.
Oh, good. So you're talking about like drafting an email for one of the tickets?
Or like one of the parties or something. If you look at the like Turtle Party 2024, that one. or Game Changers Masterclass or one of those thingies. You know what I mean? Look, I almost sound like normal now.
Yeah,
They must have plugged me back in.
great. Okay. So how do you want to do this, Agnieszka? I could pull up, I got like a blank document, but then yeah, I haven't been doing much copywriting for a while, so I'd love to not be the only one doing this.
I certainly can get the practice.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's thinking about like the structure of an email. So, you know, we're creating an email, you know, we're going to have a subject line, which is the first thing that hooks people. You know, the one job that a subject line has is to get people to open the email. And then actually in the body of the email is where, you know, we want to hook the reader in and then communicate what we're offering. I love to slap in some benefit in there and, you know, make your offer. So reading this. So, all right, Friday night fiesta beach party benefit. Our beloved local sea turtle sanctuary. As you heard, Acapulco was pummeled by Hurricane Otis, a Category 5 nightmare. Thanks to community efforts, the rebuilding has begun. And Acapulco is here to support the good work, offering oceanside tickets to the Friday night fiesta beach benefit party. Tickets directly benefit the rebuilding of the turtle conservation camp and include a ride from Acapulco, a drink from the bar, or
1 second, sorry, gotta go for a second.
okay. Drink from the bar, a fresh coconut, tasty tapas, music, live baby turtle releases, and a traditional bonfire. Oh, that's fun. This is a party you can feel good about. 3 generations of women work day and night to conserve the endangered sea turtles that nest on the beaches of Bonneville, the home of Acapulco for many years. Come celebrate community and turtle liberation on the beach of the beautiful Playa Hermosa, Bonneville, Acapulco at Campamento Tortuguero. I'm butchering all that, but so let's see how we could turn this into an email. So maybe starting out, you know, I feel what's been standing out for you guys as like what in this kind of hooks you in?
My title would be Liberate the Turtles with a Drink, or with some sort of funny, whatever Acapulco drinks are down there. I don't know.
yeah, I thought of come join the Turtle Party 2024! Exclamation point.
So what's another hook in here in reading that? So there was you know, thinking about the rebuilding after the hurricane. There's, you know, so we're supporting good work, rebuilding of the turtle conservation camp. So, you know, these are things that could appeal to people wanting to help, wanting to be part of the rebuilding. You know what I could do actually, you guys, is I'm also going to put a link to this in our chat so we could do some live playing with this together and where people could hop into this and we could do it together. Over here. And, you know, we don't always have to write everything in, like when putting things together.
And I think my entire
Oh gosh. Yes, hello?
oh, that's the delay. Oh my Jesus. Okay.
Oh, good old internet issues. I was going to say, you know, you don't always have to even write this in chronological order. So I'm thinking about, you know, all right, what are people going to get? from, from getting their tickets. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to bring this over into here and unhighlight that. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, interesting. I don't know why that's highlighted.
In order to avoid that, Kara, press Control Z. Control Z. No, Control Z, not delete, because you didn't actually undo. I can still see the other thingy. So press Control Z like 4 times. It is still code there, babe.
I don't know why.
There we go. Now it's gone. I think you still have it there.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yes, that's why when you paste something with some code, weird code or weird looking, Control Z, undo it right away, and then paste it. But seeing Control Shift V.
I did that. That's what I did. I don't know where this is coming from.
Oh, you did Control Shift V?
Yeah.
When you paste.
That's how I always paste.
Oh,
Or here,
yes.
what's going on down here? So okay.
Something was there.
It might have been me.
Jerry's the culprit. How dare you?
He didn't know about holding shift.
Say what, Agnieszka?
I said you didn't know you have to hold shift when you paste.
I guess not.
And you're welcome to hop in here too, Agnieszka, if you haven't already.
I don't know. I'm scared of using my internet right now.
Okay.
Counting stars and talk.
Okay.
So what I do when I have this actually now is I take that whole paragraph from the website and I put it in ChatGPT and I say, what would be the best email if you were using direct language, da, 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 da. And then it gives me something, and then I take that something and then I change it.
I said I haven't been. Let's see. Do I even have a ChatGPT account? I might find out if I have a login saved. I do. Look at that.
I was really resistant to it. My boss kind of made me use it
Okay.
from watercolor painting, and then I got used to using it, and now
So I would say, how would I put this in?
So with ChatGPT, the one thing that's kind of important is to have like the same sort of chat history in the same thing, because it learns from you. Here, I
Oh,
would
you're cutting out again.
for what I say. I
No,
just
I'm
say
getting
something
like every
like you know, for this, and I would put
So I'm just kind of spitballing here. So I was getting like every other word. So I just asked it to write an email based on this copy. Definitely very much first draft.
I would say to it now, whoa, way too long. Now I would say too cheesy. now I would say make it 30% longer.
Whoa.
Whoa, I think it didn't make it 30%. I would say something like make it half of that or something like that. Half the length.
That's the length.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it gets stuck. So, but it's not a bad beginning. This one, we might want to put a few other sentences. So what we can do now that it got stubborn on us, we can go to the other long version and pick 2 or 3 sentences that we might like to edit and put it in our working copy with this, and then edit it from scratch.
So should I take this over to the other document to like save it there?
If you choose to. Before I did that, I would also take the subject, join us for the Friday night, and I would say, give me 20 versions of this subject. Because sometimes it has good ideas. You can understand me. I feel so privileged.
Oh gosh, because I'm sharing my screen.
You don't have to put all the letters. That's enough. It can figure this stuff out. Just press Control V and off you go.
Okay. My controls is like covering up the bottom here. I can't really see what I'm typing. Okay.
I would say your invitation Friday night.
Essentially, there's no excuse not to write emails with ChatGPT.
Each party benefit or something. Don't, you can come up with some really shitty stuff.
Number 15 or 14.
I like your invitation as the first part. I can't really decide what I like for the second half. But now, before we put it in the document, I would also put it to subjectline.com and see what our score is. Yeah, I would mix and match in Mesa ChatGPT in this type window. I'd probably mix and match my subject and then copy it, like right there, yeah. And then copy it to put it in subject line. This is like my process that Kim is following. And put it to subject line, see. I think that Friday night turtle party is enough because everybody at Acapulco know what a turtle party is. Yeah. Yeah, and then copy that thing and then see what score you get.
Gonna make me register first. I feel like I have registered somewhere. Where does it? This is annoying. I feel like I've registered for this before. So where do I sign in somewhere? Like,
I think I registered once. I never registered the game.
because I've registered for this before, so I don't know why. I don't want to have to like re-register.
It even has a ChatGPT integration.
Okay. Yes, I will. This is dumb. Okay, I have to put a title and a company.
That seems interesting.
Yeah. And can I please just get my evaluation? Hey,
Without registering first, Carol.
What's that?
Not without registering first.
All right. So 100 out of 100, Agnieszka.
That's because
No, didn't hear you. Okay, well,
some
Good place to start, right? Because there was like negative points. I
mhm.
feel like one can improve, but it's a good place to start.
like good for the thing. What's it called? The spam bots.
What now?
I said that the subject has to be like a blend between being good for the people and being good for the spam bots.
Ah. Mhm.
So now you can grab that short email and put it in your Google Doc. And then we can go back to the long email and see if there's a sentence or two that we particularly like in there. I kind of like the paragraph about the devastating impact of Hurricane Otis.
I do too.
I think it's well written. I think that paragraph could be used as is.
Replace this one.
Yeah. Okay. There may be something else there that's good. I don't agree with using that whole big long email. That's too much.
Mhm.
And I don't agree with saying something like by purchasing a ticket, because that just sounds so off. You would never say that to a friend. You would say something like, get a ticket. And this picture, this shit, I hate when it does that. Stupid. 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 It's like it pretends it can see, but it's got no eyes. See that bit there, it's an opportunity for us to come together as a community, blah, 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 that sentence. I think that sentence may be able to be reworked for the email.
I like the So Market Calendars paragraph.
But like, it's just so artificial to say mark your calendars when we're all at a conference doing 4 or 5 events every day. You know, like going, oh, okay, I have to go there. I have to go there. I guess mark your calendar would be, I don't know. Doesn't it sound more like corporate than conference kind of vibe?
Don't forget.
Well, and so for this particular email, like who is it gonna go to people who already planning to attend in Acapulco, and so they're already gonna be, there's like an agreement, they're already gonna be there?
I think it'll probably go to everybody like in the whole world, but like who's on the list. But essentially the target is not the people who are not coming, but the people who are coming. So if the people who are not coming are not interested in this email, we don't care because it's not for them. It's for the people who are actually going to be here.
Mhm.
But I don't have any access to that. So I don't really know how they're doing that part. Who like what they're segmenting, how they're segmenting. I'm just told to write an email for this or write an email for that.
Sure.
See that mark your calendars? It just seems so chat GPT. It stinks of AI. Let's make a difference together while enjoying the beauty of our coastline in the company of good friends. How is it even our coastline? It's not our coastline. We came here from all over the world, from all these other countries. But like, I guess that this buddy, this chat GPT, it doesn't know anything about your event. The other chat where I've been asking it for 6 months, all these different in Acapulco, it has all this knowledge, like it stores all the knowledge. So I don't even have to tell it certain things, and it'll pull from previous conversations in that same chat window. So I can be very like, just write me an email about this, and it'll add that it's part of an Acapulco, even
But
if
I'm
it's
glad
not.
that I'm glad we're doing it this way, because I mean, this gives me, you know, information on how you're actively using like a new chat thread, and how you're actively using this to write an email. So
Yeah, you wouldn't want to just like, it's just like, you know, you don't want to use something directly like, you don't want to use a tomato sauce straight from a jar. You want to put like onions and stuff in it, because straight from a jar, it just won't taste that good. Anyway, yeah, so we can edit. Now we have all the sentences we want to include in the email, and the length is more or less good. So, we're calling it benefit in the description, because I don't kind of like that word. Is it called, it's called turtle party. It's always been called turtle party. I don't think it's called.
that's just what ChatGPT did.
Yeah, I just make shit up. And what do you mean at the local sea turtle sanctuary? Casa de las Tortugas, I think that's what it's called. What do we call it? Let me just see what they're calling it in chat here. Search turtle. Okay, this is not an official Acapulco party, but we're coordinating transport, selling tickets. It's a fundraiser for the turtle party.
Looking on at the ticket information, and on the beach of beautiful Playa Hermosa, Bonfil, Acapulco at Campamento Tortuguero. I'm sure I'm butchering that pronunciation, but
Turtle Camp, that's what it's called.
Turtle Camp.
Yeah, they're calling it Turtle Camp everywhere. So the turtle party is at the Turtle Camp. So what do we see here? Anybody see any problems with this copy? Oh yeah, that sentence. Okay, so Friday night turtle party at the Turtle Camp. And is it our? Because it's theirs, right? To the, I think would be better.
I guess it depends on who it's being signed by, right?
On Acapulco. The Friday night turtle party at the Turtle Camp. Special events for the restoration of the turtle conservation camp, which was sexual. That's right. Our, again, the turtle party is an opportunity for us to come together.
Do you like that as more than just a celebration, or
I think that sounds super AI.
okay?
And instead of individuals, I think it's more human to say people, or yeah. And the people who work tirelessly. Maybe even take the dedicated out. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of redundant, like to say dedicated and then who work tirelessly. I mean, if they're working tirelessly, they're pretty dedicated.
It's kind of where I was at with it.
Mhm.
So I don't like the not only bit. I think that's not really good for emails. We have to be direct. Not only this, maybe this, it's not good. So like your ticket includes, I would say your ticket includes drinks, tapas, live music, and baby turtle release. But wait. And then I would take that fantastic evening by the ocean, put it at the very end of the sentence. What do you think? Somehow put it after that. Or
Yeah, I agree. Where is
You-
it? I want to go.
scroll down below the signature, see what we do with it later. What?
I was just saying hello to Fabi.
Fabi Martinez, I hope you're coming to Acapulco. Probably not. There you are, beautiful lady.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was unmuted. Sorry about that. Hi.
I don't know if what about,
Yeah.
it will be a fantastic evening.
Didn't do any exclamation points, but just seemed like it needed one.
We're excited.
It's fantastic.
It's about fucking turtle. It's a total sham. I actually, if you actually look into it, you don't want to look into it. That's what I'm saying. What do you guys think of the sign off? Let's come together. I don't know about that. So in here, say I'm tired and I don't feel like rewriting that email, that sentence. I would take that sentence, cut it out, put it in ChatGPT and say, give me 20 versions of this sentence that are better than this. Revel in the occasion. Where does it even get these things? Bands together. What are we, burning down a church? Jesus. I don't like any of these.
Join forces. Let's assemble.
Disassemble. Because we were disassembled before.
Assemble.
I don't know. I kind of think that if I ask the same question, where's your thing? I think my internet is again better for the moment.
It does. You haven't glitched out like at all. So
Ooh. I mean, every time you guys have that face, I remember Chris McMillan from season 1, where he would be driving all over the place and go, oh.
hey, let's bond, make memories, and leave our mark on the world. We're gonna assemble, we're gonna bond, we're gonna join forces.
That's my trained ChatGPT to see if it comes up with something better. And it does.
Yeah.
And it totally does. Hang on, it's not finished yet. So Et voilà, la diferencia, the chat that is trained versus the chat that is freaking wild. Okay, okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Everyone can see. My message is too long. Oh my Jesus. Again. Okay, I think I have to do 5 at a time. Maybe I'll do 6 at a time. Bye, Ashley. You're great. That's the first 6. It's the next 6. Some of them are still cheesy, but they're, oh, she did say, let's assemble as well. But overall, I think these versions are slightly better than yours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but also I'm using ChatGPT 4 Turbo, whatever that means. Because I'm on some koala thing. But my boss got like a lifetime membership and every month it refreshes, so.
I kind of like the let's meet up, have a great time, and contribute to something meaningful.
See, that's pretty good, right?
I like that one. Mm-hmm. All the like unite, join forces, like all that stuff. It's I don't know, it just has a weird vibe, but I think I like the like let's meet up, let's have a great time, and contribute to something meaningful. Party with purpose and drive positive change.
Together, let's enjoy the ride on a turtle. Well, I have these bad visuals because like the first time I saw the turtle release, it was at the turtle party and all the men and women were very inebriated. And then they had these baby turtles in their hands. And then the sea kept bringing the turtles back and the men were kind of staggering. And I'm just like, can't watch. I don't know if any turtles were injured, but it just seems, you know, I don't know if 20 drunk people should be releasing the turtles at the end of a DJ hosted party. I suggested that they do it with 4 monks at dawn, but you know, I'm kind of like, you know, radical.
Oh, she's already gone. I was going to say bye, Ruth. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Ruth.
I don't know, something playing on like enjoy the turtle ride or something like that could also be fun. But I kind of like just like the simplicity of, and it seems like, I don't know, genuine, just the meet up, have a great time, and contribute to something meaningful. That's still the one I like most.
What do you think of my process with working with ChatGPT?
I like seeing the process in action. You know, for a while I just had my own resistance to ChatGPT, and then I just haven't been, you know, copywriting much, but I'm going to be doing a lot more for my own business soon. So, you know, it's nice to see it in action.
And then you can also train it. Like I trained that one chat window that gives me slightly better things because I keep saying, so it's kind of like training a dog, because whenever it gets like something really well, I go, okay, this is really good. Can you add this to my tone? And next time when I say my tone, you try to make it sound like this, you know? And so I'm training it to remember what my tone is. So then I will say something like, oh, is this in my tone? And then, you know, but I have to tell it what my tone is. So, but yeah. So
this is cool. How about other people in the room? What were your thoughts? Thoughts on the email, thoughts on the process, just what's bubbling up out there? Agnieszka and I have been doing lots of talking.
Well, for me, it's been great just seeing the whole, just observing how the process is very insightful, because sometimes for me at least, you know, just it's like kind of like holding my hand. I hate to say it like that, but like it's good to see someone go through the motions and be like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So I guess that's been my experience, kind of seeing this come together. And it's great because that's kind of how I learn.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, what we were talking about earlier, Carlos, on like just the journey and how I'm still learning new things. Like we have all these, here I've had like my process down of how I do things and, maybe even taking a long way around, and then all this ChatGPT stuff comes out and it's like, learning entirely new tools on, how to do things, which can really make a copywriter's life easier. So
Yeah, what also helped me a lot was Leia during the Pro Media course when she was kind of showing us how to come up with like our concept, how to develop our concept, was a lot of like recording yourself, like recording yourself, looking at your transcripts, taking all the crap that's not useful out, and then keeping the stuff that is useful and kind of working at that and adding to that, refining that. So I mean, this was very similar to that. So, but with ChatGPT.
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, same concept though, is just kind of, failing forward, like, putting things into action, doing something, and then learning from it, examining, all right, what did you like? What did you not like? What could you do better? What do I need? What are the hurdles I need to get over? Is there, new programs I need to use or tools that I need? Like what? Just learning from it.
And like I really like the length of this one, but I guess a question I would have for both of you, you and Agnieszka, would be like, how do you determine like the length of the emails? Like, is it depending on your market research, your audience? Like, because I know, like, for example, like the Grand Theft World newsletter is a lot longer, and I'm thinking it's because they know that they want to get people with like long attention spans. I'm wondering that might be, I'm assuming. But
Yeah.
like, I'm just, what's your take on that, on like length of emails?
Yeah, well, I'll put my 2 cents in, and I'm sure Agnieszka's got stuff to say on that as well. And I mean, it does. It depends on who your target audience is, and also what's the goal of your email. So something like the Grand Theft World newsletter is more informational. That's more, sharing. All right, this cleverly written synopsis of the previous episode. It is for a higher caliber audience. There's things that we're selling in there, but essentially it's like information. Whereas something like this is a lot more focused. It has one goal in mind, and that is to sell the turtle party tickets, like to inform them and sell the turtle party tickets. So generally speaking, with an email, it's thinking the biggest thing is thinking about who's your target market and what's the goal of the email. And then you can start to go from there. As far as the length, I've seen really effective, really long emails. I've seen really effective, really short emails. It's a lot of it is testing. I think, if you're unsure, just do some testing and start seeing like, what do people resonate with? It's great when you have programs that can tell you what are the open rates, what are, click rates, for people clicking on links, actually following through with what you're offering. So, a lot of it's testing. Something that I've always done is you could take something like this, which is, a fairly condensed email, and you could break this up line by line, which is it's something that actually I learned from Sabri Subi that can be really effective, is breaking, rather than having big paragraphs of verbiage, breaking stuff up to like even line by line with white space in between. And it's really interesting, like observe yourself when reading certain emails. And I would find that if I had a really engaging email that was broken up that way, I find myself reading each and every word going down the email. And it's not even very long. It might appear long on the screen because things are broken up, but it's actually not a whole lot of text. But there's something weird with like our eyes and our brains, where most of us, especially when it comes to email, if I see a big block of text, I'm going to go blind to it. I'm not going to read every word. But if you break that up sentence by sentence with white space in between, suddenly I'm reading everything and reading it very quickly. It's a really interesting thing to observe yourself with emails, because email in particular, you know, that's not how you would write in like a blog post. That's not how you would even write necessarily in always in a landing page of breaking everything up. But email, people are looking to read things fast. Often people, you know, people are they're processing through their emails, they're needing to get through things quickly, they're on, you know, a time crunch. So any way that you can cater to that, where you're still able to hook them in, grab their attention and get them to read it, that's key. So again, in an email, avoid big blocks of text. Like honestly, for myself, I would even in here, I would break it up even more. Something like this, where you're like sentence by sentence has its own line, and like that's how I would do this. So I'm rambling again. I think I'm getting hungry, but I hope that made sense. Is just breaking things up. Email is a little bit different than when you're writing for something like a website or a landing page. Did we lose Agnieszka again? We did lose Agnieszka again. Did that make sense, Carlos? I feel like I rambled a bit there.
No, perfectly. Thank you so much. I'm glad you did, because that was all useful information.
Awesome. Awesome.
Now, what do you think about alignment? Like in this email, you've got them all aligned on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing, like, I understand the breaking up and alignments, would you center it or is it all based around, say, the video or graphic media that you have? Like, how does that work?
Great question. Typically, I go all left aligned. Now, if people, it's interesting, especially with something like if I have three, like, you know, this is one sentence, but say, you know, 3 lines of text. If I have this centered, it's actually just a slightly more difficult for the eyes and the brain to process. There's something about some people have challenges reading text like this, especially big blocks of text when it's centered. So as a rule of thumb, I would keep it left aligned, unless, you know, there's something, if you have really short sentences like this, then they're all really short. You could have them centered. If it looks nicer with certain graphics or how things are laid out, that's great. Anytime that you're just doing plain text, which can, you know, don't knock plain text emails, that can actually be really effective, but I would always keep those left aligned. But to kind of as a rule of thumb, if you're going to have something like that's like 3-4 lines of text, it's just a little bit harder for the eye to take in when it's centered. Kind of how like too, where like with your websites, it's harder for the eyes to take in when you have like a black background with white text, especially for like older generations and stuff too. Just, I mean, I think kind of in general, but especially a little bit older generations, it's really a lot more difficult for the eyes to take in. It's just more work. And we want to make things as easy for our readers as possible. So it's not like they can't read it, but if something is a little bit more difficult or is a little bit more like work to read, that's not what we want. We want them to be engaged, and we want it to be really easy for them to take in. And I definitely recommend, like, you know, and I'll maybe repost this for some that came in late, but some of the clinics that we did on emails, how to not break trust with your welcome emails. This was a pretty good one, and that's like dove into a lot more of just email structure and different kinds of emails that you send and different ways of putting it together. And I think there were some good examples in there too of some really fun marketing emails like that were seemingly really long. They're just broken up sentence by sentence and makes it really easy for the eyes to take in. So there's some really good stuff in here. I'm going to stop sharing because we're kind of getting into our last 10 minutes and our little audience is dwindling, which is just fine. We're getting, you know, we've been here for almost 2 hours. But what's any other thoughts or comments, questions that are kind of bubbling up with you guys before we wrap up? My little boy is totally passed out.
That's awesome. Well, you haven't stopped bouncing since you started, so you're getting lots of exercise there, Mama.
Yep.
And you're getting hungry, so I'm going to sign off and let you go eat and take my dog out for a run. But thank you so much. I have a ton of information, and now I just have to sit down and start clicking, really, and going through some information, starting with my target audience. Because, yeah, I've been working on a book, but I haven't really thought about what is my target audience, who really would be interested. I did run it by my mastermind group, but I mean, 2, 3 of them, like they all said they would buy it, but that's just a little autonomy group. So that's a given. Who else would I be marketing this for? So it's given me a bit to think about.
Well,
I'll definitely posting them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna I'll get the event set up that I think Agnieszka and I said we're gonna start doing this every other week, at least for a while. You know, while there's good interest. And so work on this for a couple weeks and then, you know, come back and let's talk more. We could brainstorm together a little bit more about your target audience too.
Yeah, well, and hopefully I'll have something up there. I think the hardest thing I have, the biggest, I would say the most challenging, I don't like to say hardest. The most challenging thing I'm working with right now is writing about myself. I find that difficult. I would prefer someone else interview me and write about myself than me writing about who I am and what I'm about, because everybody's like, wow, you've done so much, you have so much to offer. But for me to put that on the paper without sounding pretentious or something is really difficult for me.
I
So I'm like,
so resonate with that. Oh my gosh, like writing for yourself is so much harder than writing for other people. I've had even after like years of copywriting and, you know, writing for other people, when it came to doing my own stuff, oh my gosh, I have so many blocks and things to work through.
just to put my personal journey on my landing page to entice people, because I do have a lot of a personal journey to put on paper, but I'm not quite sure how to put it. And so that's my biggest challenge, because I'm sure once people sit down and take the time to read that, like on my landing page, and then all my offerings, will understand why I have so many diverse offerings and how they're connected.
Yeah, so I have two thoughts. One is you could consider hiring somebody in autonomy or otherwise to help you out with like an about section or communicating your journey. So definitely, like, that's an area that could be good to outsource. Number two is, I'm going to totally throw another curveball at you, is even when you are talking about yourself, you still need to be talking about your customer. You need to make it about them. It's kind of this like, nobody's going to care about you until they know how you can help them. So the more that you can relate your journey and what you've learned back to how it can serve them, the better. So just keep that in the back of your head, is even though you're writing about you, it still needs to be about them.
Well, yeah, my number one goal is I want everyone to live their best life. And the book that I'm writing out, like the most basic way I could put it is, I want people to be able to walk into the forest, recognize something, because our forest and around us has so much to offer, and be able to take it home and know what it's for and how to make a salve or cook it or eat it and use it in everyday life.
Love it.
So
yeah.
Well, I just want to say thanks, Kara. It was super helpful. I found a lot of value in everything you and Agnieszka shared. Yeah, I just basically demystified a lot of this copywriting stuff that for me at least. And yeah, I can't wait to get to practice on that, because I definitely need to work on this.
Awesome. I'm glad you were able to make it, Carlos.
And good seeing everyone else. I'll see you guys around in the forum.
Sounds good. All right. Hey, Fabi.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you. I know I just came in 5 seconds here. I was hoping to get here earlier.
No problem. No problem. We keep it open for the 2 hours, and people, you can come and go as you please whenever. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, for the short bit of time I was here, thank you very much. That was a lot, just even within that small window. And, yeah.
And I'll be posting the recording in the writing room in the forum when it's done uploading. So.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, for Holly, you got this. Just go ahead and write it. Actually, you know what? If you do it, you know your audience, so it might be, I mean, I guess you can get somebody else, right? But it's also a challenge, so you'll learn something about yourself if you go through that process yourself.
Well, at the beginning, I think you missed this fact, is we were talking about, well, Kara was telling us about going on Reddit and starting to read people. So if I wrote in forest plants or forest healing or forest plant groups, and then see what their challenges are, then I can start, addressing what my offerings are towards their questions and their difficulties and challenges that they're having. So that is already going to help me find a direction on my target audience.
Oh,
Already.
I meant for the bio.
Oh, yeah. And then once I get my target audience, then like Kara was saying earlier, that I can now write my bio, because I have a more definitive target audience that I'm writing about. I'm not just kind of, okay, well, who cares about me? Really? That's how I feel when I start writing it. Who really cares about me? But if I have a target audience, I could see, well, in my journeys, this is what I've learned. So this is how it's helpful to you. And this is what I'm going to give you.
And it can
address this issue.
Of like relating to them too, like you, I had this challenge and I was going through this stuff, and this is what I've learned to be able to overcome that, and now I want to offer this all to you. Like, these are ways.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Yeah, your experience. It's like it's just blending, like communicating your value wrapped up in empathy and understanding.
Yeah, that's exactly the direction I was looking for, because every time I've sat down to try to do my landing page, I just kind of peter out, because I'm like, but who cares, like, about what I have to offer, my experiences. But now that I have some direct questions I can address, that makes it a lot more relevant, and now I can have more direction when I sit down to write it. So
well, and
really
definitely, don't sell yourself short. Like, you have a ton of value to, like, just in a little bit that I've talked to you in this call, I can see you have a whole lot to offer people. So like, don't sell yourself short on that, and just remember that, like, even maybe if it becomes a mantra that, like, I have wisdom and value to share with people, I can help people, and just keep reminding yourself of that as you're writing.
Yep, I actually write in journals, so that's a good affirmation. I will put that down and use that. It's one of those things that I have, my daily tools is my journal, so I will put that down as an affirmation.
Awesome. And in those copywriting resources, there's a clinic that we did specifically on landing pages that also offers like a nice format for creating like a long form landing page or a sales page. So that could be something to look into also.
Yeah, well, I've looked at Agnieszka's and I really like hers. Hers is really beautiful, and it has so much like information and value just in it. And then she has all her different ways of formats of paying and stuff too. So
that's the best, is just there's so many good things already out there, and so many like talented people like Agnieszka that have already put things together. So take inspiration everywhere that you can for your own things.
yeah, absolutely. I'll have to check yours out too, Kara.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited because I'm going to be redoing my website. So I'll be looking forward to getting that done and then getting feedback and seeing how I can improve it even more. So.
Great. Well, I'm going to let you go get some lunch. Thank you so much. And yeah, you have an adorable little child there. He is knocked right out, so you better eat while you can.
Yep. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks. Bye, Fabi.
Bye. Before you go, I just wanted to pick your brain with the time remaining on your thoughts on ChatGPT.
Sure. So I'm more open to ChatGPT now than I was when it first came out, because I had some real big blockers and resistance to all of the AI tools in the beginning, and I was pretty vocal about that in like previous copywriting clinics. So I'm getting a lot more warmed up to it now, and it just as with anything else, like, it's a tool and just kind of depends on how you use it. So I don't think it's the end all. I don't think it's something that's gonna replace, like, it's not gonna replace copywriters. It's like, I think that people are even maybe leaning on it a little too much, but using it like getting that crappy first draft, like just getting something started, where rather than starting with a blank page and then you're feeling blank and then, oh my gosh, where do I start? It can be really nice, I think, for just coming up with that shitty first draft. So
Yeah, it might be good for the paralysis by analysis, right? It's just
totally.
like, just get the action done. Even it's better than nothing, in my opinion. So yeah, thanks for your input, Kara. Love it. Great meeting, and yeah, fabulous.
Good to
Fabby.
see you. I'm glad to be back. So
Yeah,
we'll be doing more of these. Oh, and
it's
I
fantastic.
next Friday, Leah asked me, I'm gonna do the autonomy quest thing, and I'm gonna be the
Yay.
highlight next week. So
It's only right after Ron Renard. Come on now.
I know.
It's
Well,
like,
that's what she said. She was like,
story.
Ron's going tonight, so it only makes sense that you go next week. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, you're right. All right, I can do that. So
Oh, they're in it for they're gonna get value out of this. What I'm trying to say.
cool.
So,
All right, guys.
all right.
I'll see you later.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.